Unemployment and underemployment are a global development challenge. Development in any country is enhanced when productive jobs are created. With about 200 million unemployed youth worldwide, it is estimated that 600 million jobs will be needed over 15 years to maintain the current global employment rates. In Africa, projections indicate a youth bulge by 2035, which presents an opportunity but also challenges for its countries. Currently, half of Africa's population is under 25 years of age, and it is projected that between 2015 and 2035, each year will see an increase of 500,000 more 15-year-olds than the year before. The situation in Ghana is no different. In Ghana, youth unemployment remains a challenge, with the labor force survey indicating that youth unemployment is at about 12.1%, which is higher than the general unemployment in the country. Even further, there's the issue around underemployment, which is over 50%. Underemployment meaning that people may take on jobs not because these are the jobs they should do, but because there's nothing else for them to do. So this is the issue that we've been grappling with here at the World Bank, and governments have also been working on. For 2 years, we decided to go into deep research to figure out what the youth unemployment situation is in Ghana before we jump into a project implementation. And that is really the context for why we're here today. So before the publication was put together, we gathered stakeholders across the youth employment sector to find out what are the main challenges first facing youth and how can these challenges be solved.
I have read the report and I agree with much of what is said. I especially like the fact that the report highlights how important it is to think of young people not as one homogeneous mass, but as differentiated, as a heterogeneous group with different interests, different aspirations, different backgrounds, different aspired futures. I think that that's a very important point because often we tend to think of the youth as this mass, faceless mass of people, and we forget that even though they share a generational experience, they are very different kinds of people in the same way that adults are very different kinds of people.
The 2015 Labor Force Report estimates that 40% of Ghanaian youth have no education, and only 3.8% have acquired a tertiary education qualification.
My name is Selassie Ivy-Atisu.
All right, so my name is Gilbert Dossey.
My name is Wendy Yam Lubulon Kiri Osman.
Midinde Gideon Echampon Boateng held.
Mgbeji James Atram. Mtuoni farm.
My name is Mariam Mohammed Abukari. I'm a graduate fashion designer at Gamal Clothing.
My name is Kwame Abibio, a Ghanaian, a young Ghanaian for that matter. I have engineering as my background, but yet I believe agriculture is a space that needs to be developed in Africa.
I'm a degree holder. I completed University of Ghana 2 years ago.
I'm a second-level student at University of Ghana. I'm studying agriculture engineering.
I have a mini master's in entrepreneurship, and then I have a bachelor's degree in business administration.
School Tashi SS.
My level of formal education is up to secondary level. Okay, that was it.
I have a BSc, first degree in banking and finance.
No, please, I don't.
Yeah, this is a job. This is what I do. I have a job. It's a lottery business.
Me juma mama ho. Efoi ana mesanso restaurant baby a enkofo didi.
I have a job. It's a government work actually. But then what I do now is my side business.
I work with Hopin Academy. I serve as the technology lead and deputy director.
I'm a tractor operator. I went to my training at the Dome Training Institute, organized by GIZ.
Make some drink. Any pure water. Our traffic muhaya.
By we solving a problem of devising technology to process oil palm yields into a highly demanded product called palm oil cooking oil, me and the team, we have a job.
I would say that I need more technology skills, software development, software engineering, web development, data science.
Kenna libini mayani ke bachun libye kuji ya lele ke tabu fe apprentice more than 10 years.
This job, you don't learn this from school. This lottery, this dealing with people.
I didn't acquire them in school. Neither did I acquire them on the job. But I think I was born an entrepreneur, so it's in me.
We realize that currently our system is set up for write an exam and pass, which isn't helping us to be able to fit into the labor market.
We need to do a gap analysis, right? Because things have changed so much, the industry keeps growing at such a fast pace that sometimes it doesn't exactly catch up to what is being, what is being taught in the universities.
There are technical skills and sets of knowledge that we want young people to have so that they can be better prepared. But as the report rightly points out, we have more and more emphasis now on soft skills, right? So we are not preparing you for one type of job. We are preparing you for the world of work, which might involve you doing different types of jobs over time, or doing different types of job even in the one position that you are in.
Pre-employment support within the education system is critical, but if you wait and introduce it at the university level, then you are basically too late. We need to look at it throughout the different stages of schooling. Even if you look at even primary school, what are some of the elements that you can introduce outside the classroom that teach children beyond what is the math, the English, and the sciences and such?
The education at the college level for now, what we are seeing is that, and this is clearly also stated in the report, people are not prepared for the world of work. And it's not any fault of theirs. They are going through a system that is almost like an assembly line, just churning out mass market products with no nuance in understanding what the trends are and how they can actually be properly equipped.
There is structured programs or courses while you're in school, but ensure that you as well are researching into what are the new skills? What are the skills of the future? If, for example, I've decided I want to work in telco, right? Actively follow the industry, follow the trends, and know that, skills like software engineering, digital marketing, AI, RPA, cybersecurity are really, really hot commodities. And so if you're in the university and you're studying marketing, how can I look as well if I'm not being given the opportunity to do digital marketing in school, right? How can I do that on the side? So that by the time you finish, you are in a much better position than everybody else and you hold yourself above the market.
The rapidly changing requirements of the world of work due to technology disruptions are likely to affect the job readiness of Ghanaian youth.
The greatest challenge to the youth in Ghana is mindset and then misplaced priorities.
Some of the youth in Ghana don't know who they really are and what they really want.
I think it's finding their purpose and then positioning themselves for the job market.
You move be person be use ya adwen a create bibi. Ye per se obi efre no omai ejuma ana se obi share ne e wo say ye.
For me, the greatest challenge of the youth in Ghana is unemployment.
Unemployment.
And the statistics show, and every year it keeps getting worse.
It is estimated that 59.6% of Ghana's youth are employed, 12.1% are unemployed, and the rest are not in the labor force.
There's also one issue that if you're a Ghanaian you can relate to, which is around the discussion of the mindset towards types of jobs. Now, this mindset issue actually is seen very much within the idea of TVET, Technical Vocational and Education Training, where people see that as for the student who is not as good. So if you weren't able to get into the university, then you take the TVET as an option.
TVET training or skills training is far more expensive than the grammar training. And that is what is really weighing us down when it comes to paying attention to TVET. Let me just give you an example. When it comes to the grammar, You just lead the classroom, the blackboard or whatever, the textbook, and then the teacher. And in some instances, you may need a science lab, then you are good to go. When it comes to TVET, it's a different ballgame altogether. You need a classroom, you need a teacher, you need a blackboard, you need the textbook. Then you need another building that will house the machinery that they will use for practicals. Then you need consumables that will feed the machineries when they are doing the practicals.
So I think that from the onset, the youth should be able to have a different mindset towards their future career and orientation, preparing right from the beginning.
When you talk about Youth Employment Agency as an agency mandated with the responsibility of facilitating job creation for the young men of this country, over the years, what we were doing was recycling unemployment. We created our own models, put people on the models for 2 years. After 2 years, they don't get permanent job, then we have to re-engage them or allow them to go to the various homes without any sustainable job. But we introduced 4 key initiatives, and this sits or is in line with what the World Bank is advocating for. For instance, the job center that I talked about, it has a component of entrepreneurship training. There are several young men and women who have wonderful business ideas and plans, but the problem has been with the guidance and counseling and people serving as role model or having a training hub to let them know what they are supposed to do from A to Z.
Agriculture. I think in the Ghanaian society, in every family, you have at least 2-3 farmers. Since it's already there, I think it will be easier to start with and get a lot of people to get into.
For instance, agribusiness is projected to be $1 trillion in a couple of years, which is going to create a whole lot of opportunities from farming, primary production, secondary production, to supply chain, distribution, etc.
Based on the engagements, the World Bank Ghana Youth Employment publication states priority areas for youth employment in both rural and urban areas are agriculture and agribusiness, apprenticeship, that is skills training, promoting entrepreneurship, and other high-yielding areas.
I really want to touch on the issue around the rural youth, which I think sometimes we forget because a lot of opportunities do exist for the urban youth. But there's a category of youth that may not have as much access as they would be if they were in the urban areas. How do we ensure that there are opportunities for them? When we did this research, some of the things we did hit, agriculture is a big one, but not every youth wants to do agriculture. So we need to look at opportunities at the rural areas that we can also expose to our youth. Again, very quickly, I think about construction and tourism. You know, in Ghana, a lot of our tourist areas are not in the city. How can we get our youth more involved in what is happening in the tourist sector, as an example?
I would rank entrepreneurship as the highest.
I'd say entrepreneurship.
Because I think with entrepreneurship, when you're able to resource more people to be entrepreneurs, they are going to create jobs and also employ other people.
And it is from there that you can really find your passion.
My first caveat to the idea that entrepreneurship as it is now is a solution to job creation is that it's overstated, especially in an environment where it's really tough to get a business started. I think people are now using it as a solution, this as kind of a silver bullet, which it isn't. First, because the scale of the unemployment challenge cannot be solved by entrepreneurship alone. I think it's this idea that it has become an easy retort instead of going deeper. So young people are losing twice. They've not been properly educated, and now we are placing the onus on them to employ themselves again. It's not fair.
I feel that we need to make sure that we are not placing unreasonable expectations on young people to fix things that adults have probably messed up to begin with.
For instance, the current government is talking about 1D, 1F. And this policy is highly dependent on skilled labor. So if you're talking about 1D, 1F, and then you put out the pattern, you don't have the skilled labor to work with, how is the policy going to succeed? And the TVET institutions are responsible for providing the training for this skilled workforce. So that perception is what is not helping us put TVET in its rightful position when it comes to the development of our nation.
One big thing that I think needs to be explored more is the idea of a sandbox. This idea that large corporates can work with early stage innovators to bring new things to life. We have to create frameworks that allows that to happen in a very rapid fashion and very frequently. That is the only way the promise of youth entrepreneurship can actually be realized.